Imagine a bustling city brought to a standstill. Traffic lights go haywire, plunging the streets into chaos. Emergency lines go dead, leaving people stranded and vulnerable. Hospitals struggle to function as critical systems blink offline. This isn't a scene from a dystopian movie. It's the very real threat posed by cyber attacks on government services. As our digital networks expand, so too does the attack surface for those with malicious intent. From sophisticated nation-state actors to rogue hacker groups, the threats are diverse and constantly evolving. These attacks are full-fledged sieges on the very fabric of our society, with the potential to disrupt daily life and threaten national security. In 2023, a ransomware attack paralyzed the city of Atlanta's digital infrastructure. Essential services, from online bill payments to court scheduling, were crippled. The attack cost the city millions of dollars and exposed the vulnerability of critical government systems. Coordinated cyber campaigns can target multiple government agencies simultaneously, causing widespread chaos and disruption. Imagine hackers breaching national security databases or tampering with election systems. The digital realm may seem intangible, but the repercussions of cyber attacks are anything but. Understanding the gravity of this threat is paramount to building a more resilient and secure digital future. Imagine a police force rendered powerless, their systems held hostage by ransomware. Evidence is encrypted, communication networks are down, and officers are left in the dark. The very tools law enforcement relies on to maintain order databases, communication systems, forensic tools, are also vulnerable points that hackers can exploit. A successful attack can cripple investigations, delay justice, and even put lives at risk. Cyber attacks erode public trust in law enforcement's ability to protect and serve. This loss of trust can have far-reaching consequences, making communities less safe and eroding the very foundation of law and order. In the digital age, crime scenes often extend beyond the physical world and into the vast expanse of cyberspace. But what happens when investigators hit a firewall? When crucial evidence is encrypted or hidden behind sophisticated technical barriers? Traditional investigative techniques often fall short in the face of such sophisticated adversaries. From online drug trafficking to sophisticated financial scams, criminals are leveraging the same digital tools as law enforcement, often staying one step ahead. This digital arms race necessitates a fundamental shift in how we approach law enforcement, demanding greater technical expertise and international cooperation. Intelligence is the lifeblood of effective law enforcement. But what happens when this sensitive information falls into the wrong hands? A successful cyber attack can give criminals access to a treasure trove of data, including criminal records and ongoing investigations. Imagine the damage a criminal organization could inflict with access to a police department's database of informants or undercover agents. Lives could be put at risk, investigations compromised, and the ability of law enforcement to infiltrate criminal networks severely hampered. This highlights the critical importance of robust cybersecurity measures to protect sensitive information. The threats posed by cyber attacks are not insurmountable, but addressing them requires a fundamental shift in how we approach law enforcement in the digital age. We need to build cyber-resilient police forces equipped with the tools, training, and resources to combat the evolving landscape of digital threats. This includes investing in secure and resilient IT infrastructure, implementing robust cybersecurity protocols, and training officers to understand and respond to cyber threats. Fostering collaboration between law enforcement agencies, both domestically and internationally, is crucial to effectively combating cybercrime. Building a cyber-resilient police force is not just about technology, it's about creating a culture of cybersecurity awareness. The safety and security of our communities depend on it. Imagine a natural disaster striking a major city, a hurricane, an earthquake, or a massive fire. Now imagine the emergency response systems designed to save lives and coordinate rescue efforts going dark. This is the terrifying scenario when cyber attacks target emergency response services. In times of crisis, we rely on 911 dispatch centers, first responders' communication networks, and hospital systems to function flawlessly. But these systems, heavily reliant on computers and networks, are vulnerable to the same cyber threats as any other critical infrastructure. A successful attack can have devastating consequences, delaying vital assistance and putting lives at risk. Every second counts in an emergency, and even a momentary disruption can have cascading and catastrophic effects. Effective communication is the lifeline of any emergency response effort. It enables coordination between different agencies, allows first responders to receive real-time updates, and ensures that vital information reaches those in need. However, cyber attacks can sever this lifeline, turning a crisis into a silent catastrophe. Imagine a scenario where a cyber attack disrupts radio frequencies used by police and firefighters, or takes down the mobile networks that people rely on to call for help. The inability to communicate effectively can lead to confusion, misdirection of resources, and ultimately, cost lives. The chaos sown by a cyber attack can be just as damaging as the physical destruction of an emergency. In emergency situations, time is the most precious commodity. Yet, cyber attacks on emergency response systems introduce critical delays that can have life-or-death consequences. Whether it's a ransomware attack that locks down access to patient records, or a DDoS attack that cripples 911 call centers, the impact is measured in lives lost and suffering amplified. Imagine a hospital forced to turn away ambulances because their systems are down, unable to access patient data or allocate critical resources. Or consider a scenario where emergency responders arrive at a disaster scene without vital information about the location of victims or the nature of the hazard. The more reliant we become on digital systems for emergency response, the more crucial it is to ensure their resilience against cyber attacks. Protecting emergency response systems from cyber threats requires a multifaceted approach that combines robust technological solutions with comprehensive training and preparation. We need to anticipate the unthinkable, building resilience into our systems and ensuring that we can maintain critical services even in the face of sophisticated attacks. This includes hardening critical infrastructure against cyber attacks, implementing robust backup and recovery systems, and developing alternative communication channels. Equally important is the need to train first responders and emergency personnel on cybersecurity awareness. Investing in cybersecurity is about fostering a culture of preparedness, where everyone involved in emergency response understands their role in maintaining the integrity and resilience of our critical systems. Public records are the bedrock of a functioning society. They hold our collective memory, document our history, and ensure transparency and accountability in government. But these vital records, increasingly stored in digital formats, are facing an unprecedented threat from cyber attacks. Imagine a scenario where hackers breach government servers and wipe out decades of land ownership records, birth certificates, or court documents. Beyond the immediate impact, such attacks erode public trust and undermine the very institutions that rely on the integrity of these records. A single successful cyber attack can compromise vast amounts of data, potentially paralyzing government functions and disrupting legal proceedings. Our digital identities are intricately linked to public records. Social security numbers, birth dates, addresses. This information, often stored by government agencies, is the key to unlocking our lives in the digital realm. When hackers gain access to these records, they hold the potential to steal our identities, wreaking havoc on our personal and financial well-being. Imagine receiving a massive tax bill for income you never earned, or being denied credit because your identity was used to open fraudulent accounts. Widespread identity theft can undermine trust in online transactions, disrupt financial markets, and even threaten national security. Protecting public records is not just about safeguarding information, it's about protecting the very fabric of our digital society. Every successful cyber attack on government services chips away at the foundation of public trust. When citizens see their government fail to protect sensitive information, it breeds cynicism, apathy, and a loss of faith in the institutions that are meant to serve them. Imagine a scenario where a government agency, entrusted with the personal data of millions, suffers a major data breach. The public outcry and the erosion of confidence in the government's ability to protect its citizens are the intangible but very real consequences of cybersecurity failures. This erosion of trust has far-reaching implications, making it harder for governments to enact policies and undermining public support for essential services. Protecting public records from the threat of cyber attacks is not just a technological challenge, it's a societal imperative. It requires a multi-pronged approach that encompasses robust cybersecurity measures, comprehensive data protection policies, and a culture of awareness that permeates all levels of government. We need to invest in secure IT infrastructure, implement robust encryption protocols, and ensure that our systems are regularly updated and patched against the latest threats. But technology alone is not enough. We need to educate government employees about cybersecurity best practices and develop clear protocols for data breach response and recovery. Trust is the bedrock of any functioning government. Citizens need to trust that their government is acting in their best interests, protecting their data, and providing essential services responsibly and effectively. Yet every cyber attack that exposes sensitive information, disrupts critical services, or undermines national security chips away at this vital foundation. When citizens lose faith in their government's ability to protect them in the digital realm, the consequences are far-reaching. It breeds apathy, cynicism, and a reluctance to engage in civic processes. This trust deficit can paralyze governance, making it increasingly difficult to enact meaningful policies or mobilize collective action. In an age where information is power, the erosion of trust can be as damaging as any cyber attack itself. Rebuilding trust in the wake of cybersecurity failures requires a commitment to transparency and accountability. Governments need to be upfront with citizens about the nature of cyber threats, the vulnerabilities that exist, and the steps being taken to address them. When breaches occur, honest and timely communication is essential. Downplaying the severity of an attack or attempting to cover up failures only erodes trust further. Transparency also means engaging in open and honest dialogue with citizens about the trade-offs inherent in cybersecurity. Engaging citizens in these discussions is crucial to building a more secure and trustworthy digital future. Cybersecurity is not just the responsibility of governments and technology experts, it's a shared responsibility that requires the active participation of every citizen. Empowering individuals to protect themselves and their data is essential to building a more resilient digital society. This empowerment begins with education. Governments and educational institutions need to prioritize cybersecurity awareness, teaching citizens about online threats and safe browsing habits. Beyond basic education, citizens need access to the tools and resources that enable them to protect their digital lives. Section 4. A shared responsibility. Forging a secure future together. Cyber threats are complex and evolving. Addressing them requires collective effort. Governments set standards and coordinate responses. The private sector develops essential tools. Citizens are the first line of defense. Together we can build a secure future. Strengthening our cyber defenses. The digital realm has become a battleground. Our governments and identities are under constant threat. But this is not a battle we are destined to lose. By learning from past mistakes and embracing a proactive approach, we can build a secure digital future. Strengthening our cyber defenses requires a multifaceted approach. Governments must prioritize cybersecurity investments and foster a culture of awareness. Section 2. A call to action. Building a more secure digital future. Cybersecurity is a shared responsibility. Everyone must participate actively. From individuals to businesses to policymakers, we all play a role in securing our digital future. Practice good cyber hygiene. Use strong, unique passwords. Be wary of suspicious emails and links. Keep software updated. Be mindful of personal information shared online. Businesses must prioritize cybersecurity. Invest in robust security solutions. Train employees on best practices. Develop incident response plans. Policymakers must strengthen cybersecurity standards, promote innovation in cybersecurity, provide resources to combat cybercrime, foster international collaboration, promote responsible behavior online, hold malicious actors accountable, embrace collective responsibility for cybersecurity, work together to strengthen defenses, harness the digital age's potential while mitigating risks. The future of our interconnected world depends on it.